Today I'm back at Ferrari Maserati of Long Island to check out their inventory. I haven't been here in about 2 weeks, so I'm hoping the inventory has changed since the last time I was here. So let's go check it out. Taking a look at what's inside the detailing building, we've got this freshly washed black F8 Tributo. We've also got the blue Lamborghini Urus and blue Audi RS Q8 that were both in my previous video, and this aggressive looking Maserati Gran Turismo with a carbon fiber hood. That looks so cool. You've got an air intake on the hood, which makes it look so aggressive, and these two vents here to let out hot air. I'm not the biggest fan of Maserati, that's why I rarely show them in my videos, but this one's just too clean not to show. It also has carbon fiber mirrors and carbon fiber door handles, as well as this pretty big carbon fiber rear spoiler. Overall, this is a very clean Maserati. Here we've got the Monza SP1 that I've shown in a previous video of mine, which was pretty lucky for me to film because it's always covered like this. Always. Just the day I happened to be there like 2-3 weeks ago, the cover was off because someone came to look at it. But besides that day, there's always a cover on this car. Next to that, we've got an Argento Nurburgring 812 GTS, the convertible version of the 812 Superfast. I like this car, but I think I would have a hard time picking this over the coupe variant. I guess it all boils down to personal preference, but I really do like this spec. It's very classy and subtle with the silver paint, silver wheels, and yellow touches. You've got the Scuderia shields, which are optional. And even though this spec doesn't exactly thrill me because it's so toned down, I still really love seeing the specs that owners are opting for on their 812 GTS. So it's nice to see a new one here today. I saw a matte black one, I think over a month ago. I made a video on that car and it looked insane in matte black. It had a hot red leather interior, black over red. You really can't go wrong. So I would definitely pick that car over this one. What's funny is that usually every time I check out a Ferrari at this dealership, I'm always pointing out how much carbon fiber it has, but this one actually has no carbon fiber, which is pretty crazy. Not even one option. I can't find any carbon. In the innovative aero cluster, there's no carbon. Up front here, no carbon. Along the side, there's no carbon. So right here. And the rear diffuser is not carbon fiber either, sadly. So the owner kept this car pretty basic. They said, give me silver paint, give me silver wheels, and I'm good to go. But actually, that's not completely true because they did opt for a very nice interior with quilted stitching I can't tell if it's like a dark brown or a burgundy red leather, but either way it's really nice. So they definitely took the time to properly spec out the interior the way they wanted it. Last time I was here, the blue Electrico F8 Tributo was parked in the 812 GTS's spot, but now we've got this V12 789 horsepower beast parked next to the twin-turbo V8 Beast. I thought the F8 and the G63 would be a great two-car garage, but I think these might be better together because you get the V8, you get the V12, you get a sports car, you get a daily driver. It's just a great duo. Here we've got an absolutely gorgeous Rosso Corsa 458 Speciale Coupe, the last of the naturally aspirated V8 Ferraris. Actually, the Speciale Aperta, or the convertible version of this car, was the very last naturally aspirated V8 Ferrari. But the Speciale in general is. I love this spec. Even though it's red, and red is super common, you really can't go wrong with red on a Ferrari, especially a special edition one like this. I will say, I wish these louvers weren't painted. I wish they were just exposed carbon fiber, because I think that would definitely make it pop a bit more. If people didn't know better and they looked at the side profile of the Speciale, they'd probably think it was just a regular 458 Italia. That's how simple it looks. There's no large air intake on the side like there is on the 488 Pista, so it looks very simple, smooth, and sleek. But then you come around the front and see all these vents on the hood and these air intakes, and you're like, yeah, this is definitely a track-focused Ferrari. Just like the Pista, the 458 Speciale is stripped down for weight savings, so you've got tons of Alcantara and mesh, especially on the seats here, with mesh in the middle, Alcantara on the sides, and carbon fiber on the steering wheel, which of course looks great, and even more carbon in the center there. To properly show how track-focused this car looks, we've got a regular 458 next to it, and these two are just night and day, especially at the front. So those air intakes are pretty small, they're not very big or noticeable, but on the Speciale they really are noticeable. And then you've got the F8 Tributo shown here in Rosso Corsa with a black painted roof, and this car is more squared off than its predecessor, the 488 GTB, and I think it looks great. This Italian flag plaque at the back is a factory option. I don't see it too often, but it's really nice to see it here on this F8. I actually saw this plaque on a matte black 488 Pista over a year ago, and what was controversial about that one is that it had an Italian flag stripe running from the front all the way to the back. So once it got to the back, the colors were reversed. So here you've got green, white, red, but because the stripe was towards the back of the car, it showed red first and then white and green, so it kind of clashed. I have photos of that car on my Instagram, and I also filmed a video with it, I believe, back in December of 2019, so definitely go check that one out if you're interested to see what I'm talking about. This crazy 488 Spider is still here, which is definitely not surprising, but I'm not even going to talk about this one today because I'd rather show you this 488 Pista, and I have showed you this one many times before, but the Pista just looks so good, I have to show you again. It has a fully Alcantara interior with a red center seat stripe and red dreamlines on the steering wheel and on the paddle shifters, as well as loads of carbon fiber in the driver zone and on the 3 buttons in the center there. So one of the employees just brought over this new Rosso Scuderia 488 Pista that is now for sale here at Ferrari Long Island, and he parked it next to this Rosso Corsa F8. Unlike that Pista that barely has carbon fiber at the front, this one has pretty much every carbon fiber option, as you can see here at the front, which looks great. It also has these Argento Nurburgring racing stripes that really complement the Rosso Scuderia paint, and silver wheels. For those who don't know, Ferrari's associated with the color red because back in the day when it was only into racing, cars were painted based on the country they represented. So Italy got red, Germany got white, France got blue, and the UK got green, and that's why you see British racing green on so many British cars. The official Ferrari color is actually yellow, the yellow found in the background of the prancing horse symbol on every car, and it's also the color of the town of Modena where it all started. Rosso Scuderia is so beloved because it adorned a lot of race cars back in the day, and it reminds people of the F1 livery on the early 1990s F1 cars. Even though this color has an orange undertone, it's nowhere near as orange as Ferrari's Rosso Dino. Rosso Dino is a very bright, true orange, and Rosso Scuderia definitely has more red than that color, but it still has some orange undertones, whereas Rosso Corsa does not. So we know Rosso Corsa was the original classic Ferrari red, and the F1 paint color, Rosso Scuderia on the right here, was originally generated to make the Ferrari F1 race car look more red on television, in other words, to look more like Rosso Corsa on TV, due to the effect that TV apparently had on the standard color. Ferrari noticed that during the Formula 1 TV coverage, Rosso Corsa appeared much darker and more dull than in real life, and this has something to do with the way televisions interpret color. So as a result of research into different paint variations, Ferrari produced Rosso Scuderia, which was designed originally to make the F1 cars look correct on TV, so some people call it TV red as a result. Rosso Scuderia was first introduced to the production car lineup in 2003 with the introduction of the 360 Challenge Stradale. I'm not sure how well these colors are coming through on camera, but looking at them in person, Rosso Corsa looks like a tomato red and Rosso Scuderia is like an orangey red. I like both colors, but because Rosso Scuderia is way more rare than Rosso Corsa, I think I would take Rosso Scuderia. And for an even better comparison, Rosso Scuderia on a Pista, Rosso Corsa on a Pista. So as you can see, it looks like a tomato red. It's darker, a bit more dull than Rosso Scuderia. On the second floor of the showroom, we've got a California, the 430 Scuderia Spider 16M, and a Huracan rear-wheel drive Spider. This car is actually painted in Rosso Scuderia, the same color we saw on the Pista. Here's the $299,000 Ferrari 488 Spider with the Misha Designs body kit, and yet another F8 Tributo. So that was my visit to Ferrari Maserati of Long Island. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.